Hello, I'm Christopher Crystal with Financial Stockholm, and welcome to our investor meeting. Today we have Neovici, a Swedish AI company, which offers improvement in operating expenditures, as well as offering you further developments within your payments, receivables, helping companies from retailing to oil retailing. The gambit is across the spectrum, and they offer the efficiency improvement. We've also invited in a company called FinTech Connector, which is located in New York and is a platform to bring together innovators within the FinTech world. So with that, we'll start with a short presentation from Neovici, and it will focus on their product, Cosmoz, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, Jan.
Great. This is a short presentation about what we are doing and the trends in the world. Our platform is cloud-based in Azure, and we have this is a platform that you could work, especially B2B, in a collaborative way. So we call it collaborative commerce, and both internally and externally, you work with your co-workers or your suppliers and customers, of course. The trend, everybody knows about this. The COVID thing has done a lot of changes, caused a lot of changes in the market. Every company around the world, that's our perception, they actually are accelerating digital transformation. It's not only a good thing, nice to have it, it's a must. So working on distance, etc. And our focus has been so far with retail and telecom, but this applies to any industry. It's really a must. You need to adapt to the changes and work more for your co-workers to work more efficiently and also remotely. So you need to keep on track with your customers or your consumers, whatever you name them. It's necessary to change the technology. So what we see, the retail, let's say we could connect, it's also viable for telecom and other industries. Again, you need to see that this is changing so much. The process-focused finance, as an example, is totally changing. You need to, let's take accounts payable, accounts receivable as a start. It's really going to massive changes. So for us it's good. We have been working with this for a long time, and now the timing is 100% right. The digital changes the way you think about making a process like this, so you can actually elevate and be more predictive, to look into the future instead of looking in the mirror and report what has happened the last quarter, etc. So for our company is Neovici, and we have again this platform Cosmoz, that is an AI platform that works with smart algorithms. And now I have a quote from a customer. They had every process was really painful, and now when they have joined us in this platform, they can actually accelerate every process. So it's a part, we help them with the digital transformation journey. And so to simplify it, we offer the 3 Ps. We increase the precision, take away the tolerance and be precise in every euro cent, and also be compliant with your agreements with your customers and your suppliers. The performance, second P, you have everything in real time and you can actually increase the performance 10x. And of course, number 3 is maybe the most important. You will help the co-workers to work with value-based. You don't support the waste. You work with the value, and you can also use the system for augmentation. It's a lot of buzzwords, but it's really the goal is to keep the people happy, the humans, not to work with boring stuff. They should work with again value. So just to summarize this in some numbers, this is real business case that is proven time after time, and we have this OPEX decline. 90% is not. I would say today we can reach 90% plus for any client, any process. And as I mentioned before, we have a 10x faster performance. It could be 10x less people, or you get paid or will pay the suppliers in a more efficient way. And the precision, 30 euros is not uncommon for big companies to have an error tolerance from, in the AP example, from the suppliers. And we decrease that to less than 1 euro cent per transaction. So it's a huge difference, and it's about leakage. You stop the leakage. That's an important benefit. So thank you for that. This is again Cosmoz, the collaborative commerce platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Jan. For me, one of the points of interest is, of course, your AI technology and how you're developing this. Obviously, I would think you have in-house engineers, and how are you developing this and protecting your product so that nobody else can steal it or use it outside? What sort of protection are you taking there? And would you have a patent or a patent pending on this?
The secret sauce to have a technology with all the algorithms that is we apply in this processing world. And so what I can reveal today is that we have patent pendings, and it's really important to secure things in what we are doing and not reveal too much of the secrets. But yeah, it's a hot topic, it's a hot area, and many companies are trying to steal from each other. I presume when you have something smart, or copy the things. So what we see, we have a time window of maybe 3 to 5 years that we need to keep ahead of the competition to work with new ideas and new technologies and new algorithms, and again patent them as well. So yeah, I mean that's the main thing with the technology we have. We can reach the level of 98% of and when we say 98% of automation of a business flow, it's really touchless. And what we have seen in competition, they normally reach the level of 50 to 60%. So there's a huge gap, and of course they are interested in how could we solve this in a way with still the same data quality on the client side. So yeah, so that's a good question, and it's really important to protect our IP.
Okay. So Jan, with 10 years experience in the field and development with customers globally, one of the questions I would ask is, how fast can they see integration and improvement on the operating expenditures? Generally, when people are adopting systems, it takes a while to learn and so forth. But I guess with AI, you don't have that issue. And what would be the speed for the integration and then the results? Thank you.
Question, I can give you one example. You have one of the big retailers we have now in Scandinavia. We started, they had an automation level of less than 50%, 45 something. And then when we started first month, we added up until 63% automation. And after 1 year, it was almost 90. So it's a journey. We need to help them to apply, and also the algorithms are adaptive, so they learn by doing or this machine learning, etc. So I would say in general, less than 1 year, we could reach 90%. And again, it's really important the level of quality from the client. If they have perfect data, we can reach that 90+% in the month.
Jan, one of my other questions would be on the base of customers and the applications you can see going forward across business spectrum. What other sorts of clients could you look for, and what other companies could you be working with? And what has the experience of working with OKQ8 shown you and open up opportunities for you on, if you're able to talk about that? Thank you.
They also sell energy today. I mean, there's a mixture. It's really, really interesting company because they have gasoline stations, and they are, in that sense, a copy of 7-Eleven. That's also a client of ours in Scandinavia. And then you have the electricity. You can buy electricity to your home from them. And they also have a bank. And they have a lot of food in the stores. They have 700 stores, so they're a retailer as well. So and for us it's interesting because they started, now we start with them in the billing side, so it's accounts receivable, and that's normally we start at the other end, but the platform connects with every process. And one thing that's really interesting for us is that they have so many business-to-business clients. They have more than 80,000. So that's an area where we hopefully are going to spread the Cosmoz name.
Yeah. Now, those 80,000, are they here in Sweden, or because I think they have some Q8 in
Denmark as well.
Yeah, Denmark. Okay.
Yes.
So how does your integration work between the countries and the different tax treaties and sending the information over to the accountants?
Well, that's a tricky part, but we have solutions for that. You know, we are already in Latin America. We have a telecom company in Mexico. So we have from the beginning thinking, and the setup is global. So we have solutions for every difference in almost any country, but today in every country that we have clients. So yeah, so that's even in Scandinavia, there's a difference between Sweden, Norway, and Sweden, Denmark. They do the accounting in different ways. They have different VAT rules, etc. So we are experienced with that as well.
Jan, if you don't mind me asking, as it relates to, you know, you're definitely in the retail telecom space. What can you talk a little bit about your strategy potentially of entering into the financial services space, banking, insurance? Is that something in the horizon for you? Or if it's now, 6 months from now, a year, 5 years from now, if you could please elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's a good question. The new client we announced last week, again, the conglomerate OKQ8 is they have a bank, and they also have strong connection to insurance. So we have so much earlier experience in that arena, and we love it because it's a lot of transactions. Yeah. So that is, I would say, within 6 months, we would increase the presence in that field, especially in Latin America, and maybe, hopefully, in some other parts of the world. That's what I can reveal today.
Understood.
Because we are going to be listed this autumn, so we have a regulation we have to follow. But again, the digitalization and automation is also happening in this space. It's really interesting. And yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, keep going, Jan.
No, it's the more complex and the more transactions we have, the more efficiency, the more benefits, the faster our ROI for the clients. So it's quite simple. And this is still in the beginning. In this era, we really need early adopters because so many companies are way behind. Let's talk about invoices as an example. Maybe you know this, but it's 2022, it's more than 500 billion invoices per year in the world, globally. And still we have 90% on paper. 90%. I mean, it has to be a big change in this area, even though electronic invoicing has been around for more than 40 years. So I find it fascinating and a bit frustrating that we still have 90% on paper.
Yeah, no, definitely seeing a big movement of that. I think that's a big area, like in the invoice processing side, where we're seeing kind of the automation now kind of saying, how do we take it from that paper invoice, electronic invoices, and then garnering intelligence from what we're seeing through that as well. I do have a question for you, one more follow-up question on the banking side, because, and I'm curious around your AI technology, as you might already be aware of, if not, the regulators tend to, while they are pushing for more automation in the artificial intelligence space, it's always a black box. And I think regulators, at least within the banking and insurance space, tend to be a little bit more reserved around that, just because of the regulated nature of the industry. Sometimes it's hard to get insights into the actual engine and kind of the way the AI works. How are you going to potentially, if you're making inroads into this industry, going to help alleviate some of those concerns?
Yeah, that's an interesting area, because I would say today every company has this anxiety a bit. They worry about this black box, as you mentioned, what is going to happen. But so today, an algorithm in Cosmoz, they can kick away billions of dollars in 1 year without the human touching it. But what we provide to the clients is that they can have a sign-off of every level of automation and algorithms, so they can foresee what's going to happen and what impact it will have in their process. And secondly, there's a huge difference, because now they can monitor in this automated way as well. Let's say a bank, it's much more difficult to monitor what humans are doing. Mm-hmm. So that's if we can educate them in the right way and offer the tools that we have in the system, in the platform for the management, they are actually satisfied and realize that this is a higher level of compliance. So that's my thinking of this in this area.
And sorry, one final question on your tool. Is Cosmoz ready to be integrated into banks, or do you need to do some level of customization for the banking/insurance clients?
Well, the platform is two-folded, so to speak. It's a front-end tool, yep, and then the back-end, where all the secret algorithms are. We have an API possibility for the clients to do actually work themselves. But it's even if it's a new system needed to be integrated, we can use the library of APIs and exchange information. So it's really a straightforward job to integrate with a new platform. Let's say in a bank that have system X, and that we have done so many times. So it's limited work, limited amount of work.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Good questions.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add on the banking side is I would think Cosmos makes it easier with AML KYC because, I mean, you know, you're simply following a simple program, checking the documents, and then it can link up to the other documents where they're originally from and so forth. So from my perspective, I would think it's very easy with the Cosmos integration on AML KYC.
Yeah, we automate that as well, actually. and as you mentioned, we also keep track of every event in the system and every journey of the items, being a payment slip or a piece of tomatoes. Every step on the way, it's traceable, and so that's really important. It's sustainable and traceable.
Yeah, and you can have a faster check. I mean, it's a digital trail, digital cookie trail, literally, right?
Exactly.
So you get an instantaneous response of whether it's valid or not.
Yes, and the origin, this mean in banking, where this origin of the payment or the money comes from, and the same in the food industry. It's more and more important to keep track of where is this piece of meat coming from, which cow, or the tomato, where is it grown. Today, a good story is that you buy Italian, the label is Italian tomatoes in the stores we have in Sweden, but it's grown in Holland. But they send it to Italy first. But as a consumer, you want to know that it's that part of the origin check is really important, and that is also a bonus with the platform we have. Maybe you know that in an ERP system, everything is aggregated, and you lose track of the transactions. But we keep every transaction, every event, as I mentioned before, every human interaction, every algorithm, what has been done. So it's easy for the auditors to see the history of every tomato, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a very clear trail. And then, well, that's quite an array of businesses so far. So what's next? I mean, you know, actually, one of the questions I have about what's next is, are you speaking to these payment processors that are doing the credit card transactions for individual retailers? Is that another area, or do you have relations with them?
Yeah, we collect data, or we have integration with different parts of the payment providers, and when we do the matching, for example, we need to have information from the credit card transaction for Q8, and for 7-Eleven, there's a lot of no cash, almost no cash. It's all card transactions, and we need to connect that on the sales side and then in the end to the purchasing side. So yes, that's part of our ecosystem.
Yeah, because I would think that you'd be able to sell some of your product, especially on the data management, to these guys like Nets or Worldwide. You'd be able to integrate very easily with them and offer them kind of a reduction on their need, but a benefit to their service.
I mean, we can then automate actually any process that's digital, and but we need to focus in some area. Therefore, we have this financial processing in food, retail, and telecom. But now we are slowly expanding, because we are hiring more people every month now. So we are on an expansion journey.
Yeah, it's
that's really exciting. But
I think you'll
as
benefit.
you mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities in different areas.
Yeah, and I think you'll benefit from the amount of office space going available in Stockholm.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great to hear. Yeah, overall, I mean, thank you very much. I've really appreciated learning more, and you know, it's always great to see a great company keep going.
Thank you. So hopefully we see each other at the next press release.
Yeah, I look forward to that one. That'll be a good one.